Hello, friends and family and supporters. Two things that I've realized to start off this video. Number one, I always made Danny start off the videos because I just felt more awkward doing it. Second thing I've realized is Danny is so gifted at keeping us on track with writing updates and filming videos. And so if you're watching this and you're like, wow, I haven't heard from her since they came back from Malaysia, unless we were texting, you are right. And so I am so sorry about that. And I am genuinely so thankful. And I know that that isn't necessarily communicated when you haven't heard from me in a couple months. So truly, from the bottom of my heart, I am so thankful and filled with gratitude when I think of each and every one of you. And as I see your names on our list, I'm like, it is crazy to me that in my 4th year, a lot of them, like some of you have really been here since the beginning. And so that a lot of you for any amount of time the last 4 years have chosen to support me and us to go on campus. And so I wish Danny was sitting next to me now, but I'll give you an update about his job too. But yeah, I really am so thankful and excited to update you about all the things that God has done this semester. So to give a few numbers, even just because the numbers are kind of crazy, to talk about the semester. So we started off in the fall, Fresh 10 as usual, putting on a ton of big events during the first 10 days of school, helping students move in, things like that. And then something that we tried new this year was we did freshman Bible studies, which one of the key ways that they were very different is that any freshman, whether you are a believer or you aren't a believer or anything, could join a freshman Bible study. And we walked through the 7 stories. There's these 7 stories of Jesus in the Gospel of Luke. And so for each week, for 7 weeks, we had freshmen in Bible studies, some who are very mature, some who were just curious about Christianity or the Lord. And for 7 weeks had people going through the word. And then at the end of that 7 weeks, we helped our students kind of discern if you have a believer, should they join a discipleship group? If you have a non-believer, maybe going through different material that would answer more specific questions that they have or things like that. And we loved it. Our students loved it. And we saw a lot of students come to faith through these Bible studies, and a lot of students just, even who were Christians when they came in, have all of these other realizations of like, I've never actually sat and studied scripture like this. And so that was really crazy. And across all of the schools, so not just NC State, we had 356 freshmen in freshman Bible studies. And so it's just so crazy looking back. And some of these freshmen have become like such good friends of ours. And so, yeah, it's cool to think that God was very intentional in bringing them to these universities so that he could encounter them through the word. And so with that, this far through the school year and the semester, they're about to have their last day of class next week, and then they'll have finals. This far, Summit College has seen 25 people come to faith just so far. And so that is even such a worshipful thing when we think about how some of, like, that is not just a number, but some of these people, like at NC State, we just have come to know and love. And it's so exciting to watch them like have small seeds of faith and how they've grown and how our students have helped them grow over the summer too. So those are 2 crazy statistics. A couple others of things that God has done this semester. We've seen 47 students decide to be baptized. So just make a public declaration of their faith. We had 650 students at Black Mountain Weekend at the end of September, which is our retreat that's like 4 hours away and for a whole weekend. And so that is up from like 500 last year. And so to watch God bring, and a lot of those students also weren't Christians that came, they were just curious. And so, yeah, to watch God like massively grow that weekend, and the fruit that we've seen since then, and just getting students away from campus and having a weekend just like in a beautiful place, honestly just opened up a lot of really helpful conversations. So yeah, that weekend was awesome, and we saw a similar number at SC United. So God is doing so much in Summit College across all of the campuses. And I think, yeah, at NC State specifically, it's even cool to see so many of our students have really taken hold of like the joy that is offered in intimacy with God, but also that joy has overflowed into like outward ministry. And so this semester, our whole staff has talked about it. Ministry has just been so fun, and it's our students seem like they're loving it, and it just feels way more refreshing all around. So it has been great so far. And so yeah, a few specific things looking back at the semester. This might be a longer video, but it'll make up because I didn't send one. So a few other specific things with that. Within the freshman Bible studies, there has been this one girl that me and her have been able to read the Bible since then, but her name is Cynthia, and she is not a Christian, but she joined this freshman Bible study, and I think everyone thought she was a Christian. But when I sat down with her to have a conversation, more so about how she is praying through her summer, and very quickly in this conversation, it was clear to me that she actually like hasn't submitted her life to the Lord, let alone a decision about the summer. And so it has been really fun getting to meet up with her and just hear a lot of her questions about spirituality and what Christians believe, but also why we believe them, learning how to read the Bible, all the things like that. So that has been really fun, and we just ended a season of both senior and summer conversations with our students. So for senior conversations, we got to sit down with every single senior if they signed up to do one, and just ask and get to hear them reflect like on all of the ways that God has grown them the last 4 years that they've been in college, but also how they are going to take what they have learned and steward it and make a decision in light of God's kingdom after. And those were some of the most worshipful conversations of hearing like some of these students who weren't even believers when they came in, and now they are looking for ways to honor God more than like make a decision only based on money or things like that after they graduate. And so similar to that, we also had summer conversations where we sat down with every student, like besides the seniors, and talked about how they want to honor the Lord with their summer. And one specific conversation that I just left having, I was in such awe of how God has orchestrated this one girl's life. She's a junior, and we sat down, and she is actually thinking about doing City Project this summer. And she came in and was like, yeah, I was definitely not a Christian my freshman year, but I got connected. Some of her friends who are also juniors were believers and were connected to Summit College. And so she was around the ministry a lot, and they just took her in. Like these are some of her very best friends now. And slowly over time, watching the way that they lived, just them over and over and over again sharing this good news of grace with her, she eventually came to faith. And now just hearing her talk about the way she wants to both have one summer where she does something like City Project and learns both like theologically a lot about the Lord, but also where she's just having a summer so deeply ingrained in community, the word, prayer, to then take that into her job that she's thinking after graduation. It was mind-blowing to see, like, to know, like, oh, you weren't even a Christian 3 years ago, and now this is how you're thinking. So that is just a couple stories. Like, there is so much that God has done that I would love to tell you more specifically. But yeah, I think, so that is a lot of looking back at this past semester. And then looking ahead, one thing that we have big coming up is wincon. So we do this every January, and it is, whereas Black Mountain Weekend is more outreach, evangelistic, things like that, wincon we view as very equipping for the believers in our ministry. And so that is coming up the last weekend of January, And the theme, it comes from Ephesians. It's talking about how God can do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine. So the theme is more. And yeah, that is just we're very excited for it. And it's a little intimidating if we were like, if 650 students are willing to go 4 hours away, we don't really know how many are willing to stay around here locally for a weekend retreat. So I'm super excited for that. I love wincon, and it's one of my favorite weekends every year. So yeah, I'm just getting really excited for what that weekend will hold. And then the other exciting thing, if you're not on social media or we have not talked to you, is Danny and I are pregnant. And so we are expecting a little baby at the end of March. March 28th is the due date. So that is also just super exciting. And yeah, we found out the week after we got back from Malaysia. We found out in Montana with 9 of our best friends, and that just felt really fitting. And so we are so excited. And yeah, I'm excited to see what like the rest of, like even getting to tell the college girls, like they are just supportive and excited. And so I'm excited for what the next season holds, if you can't tell because I said the word excited like 12 times. But yeah, I am, again, so very thankful for you guys. I know this is almost 12 minutes long, and so I can't express, I can't begin to express the gratitude that I have that you guys have allowed me to do this job for 3.5, going on 4 years. That it blows my mind when I think about it. And I am always, on the weeks where I feel weary and tired, I think of you guys and how I know, like some of you, the way you so faithfully text me that you're praying for me and the ministry, and just the way that I know that you guys have decided to support people to go, because you care that NC State hears the gospel. It is on the weary weeks where I look at you guys and I'm like, wow, I can press on. So yeah, just thank you. I would love to hear from you guys, and I will put in the description ways to pray, but I would love to hear from you guys. I'm also going to include in the email, we're sending out Christmas cards, so if you have a new address, I would love for you to tell me your new address. But yeah, I have so much love for you guys. Would love to hear from you. Would love to meet up over Christmas break if you're free and in the area. But yeah, thank you.